Let me call on you to do the first reading of House of Assembly Bill number 384, House of Assembly Bill number 385, House of Assembly Bill number 386, House of Assembly Bill number 387.
Appropriation State Waterways Authority Bill 2025, House of Assembly Bill number 384, first reading. Appropriation State Real Estate Regulatory Authority Bill 2025, House of Assembly Bill number 385, first reading. The Local Government Service Commission Bill 2025, House of Assembly Bill number 386, first reading. The Takada Skills Acquisition Center Establishment Bill, Appropriation State. Bill number, House of Assembly Bill number 387, first reading.
The first line. And is committed to Committee on Roads, Businesses, and Ethics for further action. Chairman of the committee, Endos. The leader of the House.
Thank you very much, Speaker. Speaker, item number 7, which is the main order of the day.
Yes. Never had to do that. House of Assembly Bill number 1. House of Assembly Bill number 387. Acquired of the Takada Skills Acquisition Center. Is read the first line. And also constitutes the Chairman House Committee on Roads, Businesses, Ethics, and Business for service. Leader of the House.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Speaker, next on the order of item number 7, order of the day, which is the main order of the day, which is the presentation of the 2026 estimate appropriation bill by the Apprentice to the Apprentice House of Assembly by His Excellency Pastor UMO ENO, Executive Governor of Apprentice State. The Speaker, the Governor of the Apprentice, and in our tradition, would like to admit strangers into our House members when occasions like this demand. Speaker, with your leave, I would like to move the motion to that.
Go ahead and make the motion.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, in line with order 12, rule 3 of our standing orders, I hereby propose that the maid, the lower, and strangers, including His Excellency, the Governor, be allowed into our House chambers for the day in their own.
The Deputy Speaker, second the motion.
Thank you, right honorable Speaker. Speaking for the Environment, there is also I write to the motion. Let me go by the leader of the House. Stranger, including chief executive, we allow people to come and I respect.
Thank you. More house, please. If you are moving out, please, no noise. I shall Honorable President, I call on the President at Arms to lower the men and invite His Excellency into the chamber. Let me call on the Deputy Speaker, the House Leader, the Chief Whip, and the Deputy House Leader to go and bring His Excellency and the Secretary to the chamber.
to inform you of the presence of Akwa State Governor, His Excellency, Governor UMO ENO, PhD, in the chamber, sir.
You are by the bring Excellency into the chamber. The national anthem. Chairman of the party, the APC, UNESCO, Chairman IPAC, and members of the party, APC. The SSG, there are two services of requirement, executive assistants, executive advisor, honorable commissioners, special advisors, military advisors, Executive Governor, leader and members of Congress of former visitors, especially former Honorable Speaker that are here today, wife of the former Governor of Kwara State, service commanders, serving and retired, Captain of Industries, professional bodies, chairman of boards and commissions, president secretaries, the club of the house, chairman of Kwara State, other chairmen and vice chairmen of local government areas, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen. We have in the other chambers His Excellency Pastor UMO ENO, PhD, the Governor of Akwa State, members of the Executive Council in our midst. It is with great honor and this sense of responsibility that I, on behalf of the Akwa Assembly, the 8th Assembly, warmly welcome His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Akwa State, to our dear state, to these other chambers, for the formal presentation of the 2026 Estimates and Appropriation Bill. The presentation of the budget symbolizes not only physical planning, but also the collective aspiration of our people for growth, development, and improved living standards. While thanking you for coming, Your Excellency, may I respectfully invite you, Your Excellency, to address this House and lay the 2026 budget proposal for consideration in accordance with Section 121 of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic as amended. Your Excellency.
Your Excellency, the Deputy Governor of Akwa Ibom State, distinguished Senator Akon Eyayin, PhD, the Honorable Speaker of the Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly, Right Honorable Udeme Otong, the Deputy Speaker, leadership, and members of the Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly, members of the National Assembly here present, the Secretary to the State Government, the Executive Delivery Officer, the Head of the Civil Service, members of the State Executive Council, led by the Dean of Commissioners. Let me particularly acknowledge the presence of the Commissioner for Finance and the Commissioner for Budget and Economic Planning. The Chairman of Algon, representing all other chairmen that are here with us, the DG of our campaign, His Excellency Ambassador Assam, can see in the gallery the chairman of our party, the All Progressive Congress Akwa Ibom State, His Excellency Chief Don Etiebet is here, the wife of our former governor. Please permit me to rely on the protocol that have already been established by Mr. Speaker. But let me also acknowledge former speakers that are here seated in the array. Since I have a long reading to do today, please permit me to proceed to present to the Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly the budget proposals for consideration, 2026 budget proposals for consideration by the House of Assembly. Mr. Speaker, the honorable members of this esteemed House and other invited guests, today I come before you as the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amended, demands to present to you the estimates of expenditures for the year 2026, which we have aptly titled the people's budget of expansion and growth. Before I proceed to present the budget, allow me to give thanks to the Almighty God for the grace, guidance, and invisible hands that has so generously been extended to us. And on the accurate reading of the signs of the children of Issachar, progressive political state of our people has progressively joined us in this great movement. Mr. Speaker and honorable members, in the past 2 years plus, we have made tremendous strides across all 5 pillars of our governance blueprint, the ARISE agenda, and the 17 focal areas. Let me at this point thank President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, for that bold act he took on the first day in office by removing the petroleum subsidy, which today has made it possible for states to have more funds and resources to execute both the current and capital projects. The difficulties associated with the removal of the subsidy is gradually abating, and dividends are rolling in. Today, from agriculture to rural development, from infrastructure to security and educational advancement, tourism and healthcare, promotion of SMEs, sports, housing, transport, among other key sectors, we are undertaking bold and audacious projects without borrowing and have the amount of resources to complete all the projects that we have so far initiated. We thank the President again and assure him that to whom much is given, much is expected, as we will continue to deliver this and stand ready to support him from 2027 as a state. Our agricultural revolution is on course as work is ongoing at the Bombardier farm in Italy. All across our state, our people have imbibed the spirit of returning to the farm to plant our staple food. The Ministry of Agriculture has been distributing farm inputs, implements, fertilizers, and tractors to help our farmers increase food output. We will redouble our efforts in this critical sector next year. As we speak, 69,107 farmers have benefited from our agricultural revolution. 13,060 registered farmers have benefited from agri-processing machines and equipment that we have purchased for our farmers. The palm tree crop revolution, which we plan to launch soon, will create a generational wealth for our people, especially those in the rural areas. Palm oil was our black gold. The community that had empowered our people helped set covered. Through this revolution, government will actively get involved in palm tree planting and will eventually offtake them from our farmers to complete our food value chain. To make this project take off smoothly, I recently directed AKS to be moved from the Ministry of Agriculture to the Office of the Secretary to the State Government, and a massive renovation exercise is ongoing in the facility. I intend to visit the AKS office after this presentation today. We have bought tractors to aid our farmers in their plowing and harvesting. These tractors will be commissioned in December this year. We remain intentional in ensuring that there are ongoing projects in all the 31 local government areas of our state, from model primary schools to model health centers, 78 new feeder roads, 30 wet markets, water projects, and solar electricity, all in line with our desire to stem rural-urban migration and ensure a good quality of life for our rural dwellers. We are currently constructing over 900 kilometers of roads across the state. Some have already been commissioned while others are ongoing. I made a promise during my campaign that we will not abandon any viable, uncompleted projects from previous administration, and so far we have kept our promises. There is no senatorial district in this state that we have not touched, either with a new road project or those whom we have deployed our finisher's anointing to complete and commission. Akwa Ibom State, I must re-emphasize, has possibly the best road network of all the subnationals in the nation, and we stand ready to do more in this critical area. Beginning 1st of December, we will commence fixing of all potholes within the capital city of our state. Government has made provision for one project each in the 31 local government areas, taken specifically from the needs document earlier submitted by the 10 federal constituencies of our state during our town hall meetings. The outcome of this budget is based on citizens' input, as witnessed by the documents submitted to government during the statewide town square meetings or needs assessment. In other words, this budget is a citizen's budget. We are working very hard to continue to keep our state safe and secure. Let me, at this point, pause to thank our partners, the state security agencies, who have partnered with us in ensuring that security is maintained in our state. Let me pay glowing tribute to our service commanders, both past and present, for the robust collaboration we have enjoyed in the last 2.5 years. We will not achieve this nationally known feat without your support. We thank you and we celebrate you. We'll continue to partner with you in the onerous task of keeping security and maintaining security in our state. Thank you so much. We recently launched our Security Trust Fund, and we also thank all those who have contributed. We assure you that our state will continue to remain the oasis of peace and tranquility. Peace is the catalyst for development, and will continue to pursue and deepen this important element of our social contract. I call on our leaders not to unnecessarily inflame their passion as the political season unfolds. Politics must and should not divide us. Even if you don't agree with us, I join us all to play politics with decorum, with decency, without name calling or the push to pit brothers and sisters against one another. Akwa Ibom says no to divisive politics. It is now gone and will forever not be remembered. Politics is dynamic, we must remember. The brother or sister you wish to destroy today may be your savior and ally tomorrow. Let us discuss issues and leave personalities out of politics. That is not a way to play opposition. We continue to see education as the way out of poverty. We are not just providing education for our children, but functional one at that. The one that prepares them for the opportunities that today's technology-enabled world provides. That is what informed our decision to construct and equip our model primary schools with all the modern amenities, because once you catch them young at the primary level, you have succeeded in preparing them for a more robust educational pursuit and opportunities for success in the future. We plan to construct model secondary schools in all the 3 senatorial districts, beginning with a pilot in Uyo senatorial district. We are regularly paying bursaries to students in tertiary institutions, giving grants to students living with disabilities, and continue to support our tertiary institutions with grants. We have recently assented to the bill that was passed by this House to convert our Akwa Ibom State College of Education to a full-time university. I am aware that the process is going on and engagement is going on with the Nigerian University Commission. We recently declared an emergency in the healthcare sector, and have directed that 1,300 retired healthcare professionals who are still strong to be re-engaged. I have also directed the employment of additional 2,000 healthcare professionals to help beef our workforce in this critical sector. We are upgrading and equipping 8 general hospitals and 29 existing primary healthcare centers. Last week, we commissioned the General Hospital in Ukana, a long-desired medical facility for the people of that local government area. Our hospitals now have a more comprehensive drug distribution mechanism, and drugs are readily available to take care of the sick amongst us. Oxygen plants are functioning optimally at our isolation center in Itumban, Abak, and Eked respectively. Same as our modular laboratory also in Itumban. The Senior Citizen Center in Ibionibom is expected to be commissioned soon. We are training and retraining our medical personnel, and all these are geared towards ensuring that we have a healthy and productive population. We have awarded contracts for the building of an international hospital with such departments as oncology to detect early cancer symptoms and other diseases. We have directed and working very hard to award a contract along the medical corridor for stand-alone, purpose-built international diagnostic center. This diagnostic center will be accredited by all international bodies. The diagnosis that will be recorded or diagnosed at this center will be accepted by hospitals the world over. This is an audacious project that is captured in the 2026 budget, and again, it fulfills our campaign promises on healthcare delivery services. In aviation, housing, and sports, we continue to support Ibom Air to remain the best and most preferred airline in the nation and the overall aviation ecosystem. Work is ongoing at the aviation village, and we have successfully installed lighting at the Victor Atta International Airport, which allows aircraft to land at night. We are working closely with the Federal Ministry of Aviation to get back the airport status of an international airport before we open the new international building. We are working closely with aviation stakeholders and regulatory agencies to commence operations at the international terminal as well as our MRO, maintenance, repair, and overhaul hangar, which is 95% ready. In the housing sector, work is ongoing at the Judicial Village, Ewet Luxury Estate, Aviation Village, Medical Village, where we have numbers of housing, some over 50, some 100, constructed in all of these housing estates. Next year, we have included in the budget to commence work both in the legislative and commissioners' quarters in the Dakada Luxury Estate. So far, we have commissioned 236 units at the Grace Estate and have handed over 150 units to civil servants between grade level 1 to 8. The balance will be handed over this year to civil servants from grade levels 1 to 8 in another competitive bid exercise. We remain dedicated to discovering talents who will go on to represent us at both national and international sporting events. Earlier this year, we held our state sports festival after a very long while, during which new talents were discovered. Work is ongoing now at the Sports Academy in Eket to continue to nurse and groom these talents. Sports, I must re-emphasize, is a multi-billion naira business, and we want to expose our youths to get a little piece of the pie. In the area of social investment, job creation, and poverty alleviation, 49,902 people have been engaged in various projects we are currently undertaking in the states. 9.3 billion naira have so far been expended in various grants to help our people get out of poverty. We have invested heavily in ensuring that the most vulnerable among us are not left behind. To date, through our Rise Compassionate Homes, spread all across the state in all the 369 wards, we have built, equipped, and handed over 335 homes to beneficiaries. Our target is to finish with 500 of such homes before the end of our first term in office. We are already more than halfway gone. The 50,000 naira support we provide to 600 elders monthly, drawn from all the 369 wards, remains effective, as well as free food distribution program. To date, 10,408 active homes have benefited from our community and social agency initiative. Out of the 110 billion backlog of gratuities we inherited, dating back to 2012, we have, under 2 years since we came in, paid to date over 75 billion naira, clearing in the process backlogs to March 2021. This month, I released an additional 1.3 billion to further reduce the backlog. You will agree with me that this is indeed a great achievement. By next year, we'll continue to reduce the backlog until everything is cleared. We have placed heavy premium in human capacity development and the promotion of SMEs. Over 3,000 of our youths have been trained and given startup grants through the Entrepreneurial Accelerated Program, EAP, that is run by IBOM Leadership Entrepreneurial Development Center, IBOM-led. We have also supported the Dakada Skills Acquisition Center to commence operation and have graduated the first set of trainees. We have a 2 billion matching fund with the Bank of Industry to enable our people to borrow at single-digit interest rates. This fund is available to be drawn by farmers and traders. We are doing all we can to ensure that we promote SMEs as the engine of economic growth and an easy path to the middle class. In the 2026 budget, we have made provision for 31 billion naira to support SME programs across all the local government areas of our state. Tourism is a critical area that we are priming our state for a life beyond oil. We are building the 5,000 capacity international conference center that will be one of the best in this country, the 200-room Igbo motels at the Tropicana site, the Arise Shopping City, all located within the Tropicana grounds. We are renovating the Igbo Motel and Golf Resort to bring it up to speed with modern features. We are reclaiming moribund assets in the state, both in Lagos and Abuja, and we intend to turn them into assets that will be of value to the state. Currently, we are wrapping up construction in the Arise Palm Resort, one of the most audacious tourism projects that any state government would undertake. Work is currently ongoing at the Ibom Towers and apartments in Lagos. We are waiting approvals of our designs with the Federal Capital Territory Authority to award the contract for the construction of Ibom hotels in Abuja. We are priming and preparing our state for sustainable growth through different streams of income by utilizing our previous moribund assets. We are determined to ensure that all of these assets, investment corporation, through consultants, and we monitor daily as we go into the Treasury single accounts from January 2026. Recently held our past summit and came up with action plans for the sector. By next year, you will begin to see the effect of this in that all-important sector. We are currently working with our team to ensure that we create all of the agencies that will help drive power for all in Akwa Ibom. In the transportation sector, our CNG-enabled buses are on course. This morning, directors from Isuzu in Turkey paid me a visit just to follow up on the 50 buses we have ordered from Isuzu and fully paid for through the Central Bank of Nigeria. We are building a bus terminal station in Uyo and will replicate stations across all the 31 local government areas of our state. This will help our buses and our transport sector. We hope and believe that this will become functional by next year. We continue to work hard to put the building blocks for the realization of our Ibom Deep Sea Port. We're working, Mr. Speaker, in about 2.5 years, we have done a lot across sectors, but we still remain dedicated to expanding on these achievements with the budget we are presenting before the House this afternoon. The policy thrust and objectives of the 2026 budget. The policy thrust of the 2026 budget, which is titled the People's Budget of Expansion and Growth, will be anchored on the Arise agenda of the present administration. This includes A, to strengthen food security and food sufficiency by expanding mechanized agriculture, smallholder and producers, and promote value chains. Income earning potentials of rural households will be enhanced through home farm schemes, provision of access to farm inputs, credits and extension services, as well as agro-processing support. Improve living conditions in rural areas. Government will electrify rural communities, upgrade and construct rural roads, renovate primary healthcare facilities, and build modern markets, schools, recreation facilities to improve quality of living in the rural areas. Complete ongoing flagship infrastructure projects, including roads, bridges, aviation, health facilities, and begin new ones critical to connectivity, trade, investment, and job creation. Strengthen internal security architecture, including community-based initiatives, digital surveillance, and waterways protection to ensure peace and protect lives and property. Excuse me, Mr. Speaker. See, we have reduced the tension now. Improve the quality, accessibility, and relevance of education at all levels through equipping of schools, training and retraining of the dedicated teachers, expanding ICT capabilities, and facilitating inclusive access of vulnerable groups. My charge to the brand new tier-over head of the civil service is to rekindle training and retraining of our civil service. And we've made a very robust provision in the 2026 budget to ensure that we have an upwardly mobile trained civil service. Promote economic diversification and support medium, small enterprises. Government will continue to create jobs for citizens and enlarge that part of economic prosperity and expanding opportunities for growth in business, leisure, and tourism, as well as continue to attract foreign investment by creating a business-friendly environment. We will invest in human capital development and social inclusion. Targeted programs will be developed for vulnerable groups, including women and children and persons with disabilities, to promote social equity. The state will invest in youth development. The state will continue to invest in youth development initiatives, such as youth development centers across the 31 local government areas, to harness the potential of the young population for economic growth. We need to continue to engage our youth so that they continue to have a reorientation, change of attitude, change of mindset, and embrace the culture of hard work. Streamline the tax system to reduce redundancies, improve compliance, and enhance business confidence, as well as continue to leverage on technology to track high-income earners and formalize the informal sector to ensure fair taxation without stifling business growth. Invest in renewable energy projects and waste to wealth initiative to reduce greenhouse gas emission, create green jobs, and promote environmental sustainability. Promote accountability, transparency, fiscal discipline, and value for money. Adhere to the state fiscal responsibility and procurement laws. Minimize wastages, leakages, and corruption, and publish regular, accessible reports to stakeholders. Enhancement of transportation system in the state through provision of compressed natural gas CNG buses and construction of marine aluminium passenger ferry boats. Promote tourism investment to transform the state's economy from crude oil dependent into a diversified and vibrant service economy. Invest strategically in tourism to diversify the state's economy, create employment opportunities, and boost internally generated revenue. Completion of Igbo Medical City and the rehabilitation of secondary and primary health facilities in the state. Efforts will be made to continue to recruit, train, and retrain medical personnel, expand insurance coverage, and integrate public-private partnership projects. Review of the performance of 2025 budget. Mr. Speaker, a total of 955 billion was approved for the 2025 fiscal year. This was however revised to 1,650 billion with a total recurrent expenditure of 425 billion 666 million naira and the capital provision of 1,224 billion naira. The breakdown is as follows. Recurrent expenditure 425 billion 664 million. Capital expenditure 1,224 billion, totaling a budget of 1,650 billion for 2025. As of September 2025, the total recurrent revenue collected by the state was 897 billion 144 million naira, representing 108% of the approved provision for the period January to September. The sum of 3.883 billion was realized from other capital receipts, excluding recurrent surplus. This represents 15.5% of the approved provision for the period. Also, the sum of 231 billion 228 million was spent on recurrent services within the period under review. This represents 77.1% of the approved provision. A total of 598 billion 981 million was spent on capital programs within the same period, which represents 91.4% of the approved provision. The total expenditure within the period January to September 2025 was 830 billion 210 million naira. This represents 86.9% of the approved provision. Our total budget expenditure is described in detail in the budget implementation report, which has been prepared to facilitate your consideration of the draft 2026 budget. And the Commissioner for Budget and Economic Planning and Commissioner for Finance had made this available to the press when they presented the 2026 budget expenditure summaries. The 2026 budget size. Government has proposed a total budgetary outlay of 1,390 billion naira only for the 2026 financial year, as against the approved revised provision of 1,650 billion naira only for 2025, representing a decrease of 16% from the 2025 revised budget. The total outlay of 1,390 billion naira is made up of 354,867 million naira for recurrent expenditure, or 25% of the budget, and 1,035 million naira for capital expenditure, representing 75% of the total budget. The allocation of 75% of the total budget to capital expenditure is intentionally meant to accelerate and stimulate economic activities in the state in the 2026 financial year. The capital estimate consists of 387 billion naira for roads and other infrastructure, 31 billion for education, 136 billion for health, amongst others. State government revenue estimates. A total projected revenue, recurrent revenue for 2026 is estimated at 1,146 million naira, as against the revised provision of 1,255 billion naira, representing a 9% decrease in revenue projection for 2026. Revenue recurrent expenditure. For the 2026 fiscal year, recurrent expenditure, which is proposed at 354,866 million naira, is made up of personnel cost 131,152 million naira, overhead cost 223,715 million naira, total recurrent expenditure 354,867 million naira. The total capital receipt and expenditure for the year 2026 is estimated at 1,035 billion naira, as against the approved revised provision of 1,224 billion naira for 2025. A total capital receipt shows that 791 billion 978 million will be transferred from the consolidated revenue fund, while the balance of 243 billion 155 million naira is to be realized from other capital projects. The Honorable Commissioner for Budget and Economic Planning and his finance counterpart will, as usual, provide details on the sectoral allocation, so I don't bore this house with that at this time. Let us reiterate that the 2026 People's Budget for Growth and Expansion reflects the request made by the stakeholders of each of the 31 local government areas during our town square meetings. The list of projects that have been captured in each of the local government areas will be made available during the briefing. The funds allocated to each of these 31 projects will also be disclosed by the Honorable Commissioner for Budget and Commissioner for Finance during the planned media briefing. In conclusion, let me again thank you, Mr. Speaker, and the honorable members of this House for your kind attention. I urge you to please speedily consider this budget so we may continue to work for our people and galvanize them to arise and be all that God has desired for us to be. Our governance compass, the Arise agenda, is on a steady course. The achievements we have recorded in the past 2.5 years are inspiring. As we speak, we have over 50 projects ongoing in various local governments in our state. And these are not roads, and we intend to pursue them aggressively to a logical conclusion. I urge us to continue to stay together in peace and in harmony so our people can thrive in this great land of promise. Let us not allow the divisive tendencies to separate us. Let us not encourage disharmony and the breakdown of law and order, because it will impede growth and none of us will know how it will end. But as a government, let me assure this House, and indeed Akwa Ibomites, that we will do everything in our power under the law to ensure that we do not allow insecurity to take root in our state, working with renewed commitment with our security agencies and all Akwa Ibomites, including the Neighborhood Watch, which we will expand in 2026. Mr. Speaker, members of the House of Assembly, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank you for your rapt attention, and I pray that God bless Akwa Ibom State and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you, and God bless you all.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Your Excellency, the Executive Governor of Akwa Ibom State, Pastor UMO ENO, PhD. The Deputy Governor, supporting Deputy Governor, distinguished Senator Dr. Akoneyanyi, all members of Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly, the Chief Judge, and members of the Judiciary, members of the State Executive Council, distinguished stakeholders, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. Your Excellency, on behalf of Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly, I am honored to welcome you to these hallowed chambers for the presentation of 2026 Appropriation Bill. This annual constitutional engagement remains a cornerstone of democratic governance, an expression of our shared commitment to transparency, accountability, and service to the good people of Akwa Ibom State. Today's presentation is especially significant
as it aligns squarely with your administration's commitment to fully actualize the ARISE agenda with emphasis on agricultural expansion, rural development, infrastructural consolidation, security enhancement, and economic diversification. Your Excellency, permit me to commend the visionary leadership you have consistently demonstrated since assumption of office on May 2023. Under your watch, the ARISE agenda has moved beyond policy statements to tangible impact touching communities, empowering households, and strengthening the pillars of our state economy. Your Excellency, we are all witnesses to the major transformation across the health sector, numerous road projects, the construction of compassionate homes, the construction of model primary schools, and the implementation of several other projects that have brought succor and renewed hope to our people. It is evidence that virtually every sector you have highlighted during the campaign is today seeing remarkable progress. Your deliberate effort in revitalizing tourist sites, supporting SMEs, and promoting community-based enterprises reflects a strategic shift towards strengthening the state economic drivers. This initiative not only creates employment opportunities but also meaningfully reduce dependence on government, setting the stage for inclusive growth and long-term prosperity in the state. One of the most commendable hallmarks of your leadership is your commitment to taking government closer to the grassroots, a governance model that has become widely appreciated by our people. Last Saturday, as we received and examined the 2026 budget,